You are as free as you choose to be.
Yeah, I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumed Chatterjee. You can call me Sum, you can call me Scripps. I'm from the Flow Zone Academy, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. The flow state is a state of optimal performance, is the paradise consciousness, as I like to call it. So let's tap in, let's get right into this video. Today I want to talk about freedom of choice and fun autonomy. Essentially, man, a lot of people, when they start out on a new flow state task, of course they're going to be awkward at it, right? In the beginning. It's like that weird medium length in between phase. It's not necessarily going to look perfect right away, and that's completely valid and is completely fine. You've got to go into this with a childlike curiosity, like the type of curiosity of wonderment where you're going, the twinkle in the eye, you know, that energy. Let's say this is my book, right? TPM. So you have to read this for a class curriculum, right? Like a theater or psychology class, let's just say you had to read this book for your core curriculum. Look at this handsome guy. Basically, man, if you were to read this and you were forced to read it, you don't want to read it. You simply don't want to read it. But if you were curious, right? Like if you were curious about the book, you came across it in a self-help store and you're like, oh, that's dope, right? That popcorn cover, yo, what is that about, right? And then you start looking into it and you start getting into the philosophy behind it, right? Well, the philosophy behind it is my life. How I choose to live my life, how I choose to emphasize different things, right? And so a book is essentially, you got to understand, when you're reading a book, you're getting the essence of a person, right? So don't read books that are just like, you know, the people, the authors are just lame, right? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. So you might read a Grant Cardone book, but do you want to be Grant Cardone? Do you really want to be Grant Cardone? If you do, go ahead and read his book. You can 10x everything, okay? But you got to make this potential choice of curiosity, this autonomy, this, hey, I'm an adult, I can choose what I want to read. It's not forced upon me because the school wants me to read it as a part of its curriculum, right? And hey, some of you have got to, but when you give yourself that curiosity factor, not like highlighting and taking notes and analytically reading it, sometimes school like really blocks our learning, you know? It's kind of counterproductive in a sense. I mean, it's trying to make us learn better. It actually gets us more frazzled and takes away that autonomy of choice. Like, what if the entire classroom could vote on a book that they would learn? That would be a really cool process. I don't think people have considered that in schools and stuff, but the more epic schooling system. I do things because they are fun. Simple as that. Okay, this might trigger a lot of people. What do you mean it's fun, you know? Yes, reading to me is actually fun. Listening to audiobooks is actually fun for me, right? Meditating can actually be fun. To some of you, it's not. It's boring. Boring? You mean I have to be with my own thoughts and like nothingness and focus on my breathing? Boring, right? You're conditioned to think like this. But how cool would it be to actually improve your mental fitness? You do that through meditating, right? So this is the thing, right? All the things that I choose to do, they might be quote unquote healthy or unhealthy, whatever. Even if I eat some junk food or here now and again, right? Love that jalapeno cheese dip, you know what I mean? You know the one I'm talking about? Ah, freaking delicious, bro. It's fun, right? It's F-U-N. We're having fun. When you're not having fun, there's resistance. There's more obstacles in the way. You're curious about it, and your intent isn't having fun, you're gonna find a way to have fun with it. But the question to ask yourself is, how can I make this more fun for me? And that usually is by you optimizing your strengths. How can I make this more fun for me? Well, what is my top strength? If your top strength is honesty, that means you lying to you and you lying to others is draining your energy and momentum and fun. Think about that, right? If honesty is one of your top strengths, that means your enemy or your weakness is lying to yourself, because it's actually diminishing your top strength. You can do this through VIA. I always recommend people the Viacar, okay? The values in action character strengths quiz, right? And coming back to that place where you're like, hey man, I chose to do this. I don't have to do this. I choose to do this, right? It's that self-reliance. It's like being like, hey, like I've decided enough is enough. I'm changing some things around. I'm doing some things differently because I'm curious about it and I'm willing to lean in. Lean into the unknown, lean into the uncertainty of it all. When you can lean into the uncertainty of it all, you're leaning into your potential. And through the adversity, through the challenges, you're also incorporating wisdom. Because wisdom is learning through experience. If you want to be wise, start making lots of mistakes. Fail faster. Go through that feeling of hesitation, heart beating faster, not knowing what to do, completely frazzled in your own state. That's the time you use state control. That's the time that you come back to the present moment. That's the time where you maintain yourself and gain momentum again. These are the tests. This is the long haul game. It's a test of your mental stamina. It's about the self-talk. It's about the narrative that you're controlling. It's about what are the archetypes that you're embodying in those moments. Make it fun. Like go to the gym and, make one of your workouts like you're pretending to be a velociraptor. Why not? People look at you, what the heck is that guy doing? Doesn't matter, bro. You're in your own world. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. You are there to be questioned. You're there to be challenged. Okay? You have those certain people that come in like, hey, bro, don't hurt yourself. Make sure you're doing this properly, right? People who impose their reality and their unsolicited advice onto you. Bro, that doesn't even faze me anymore nowadays. You know what I mean? When people give unsolicited advice. I've just heard it so much that it just completely, I'm like a blank slate in that moment, right? Completely not even absorbing anything they're telling me. Because it's like, however, if something does register that's useful, that's going to be useful to me, I absorb it very quickly, right? It's like looking for the golden nugget. I do the same thing when I'm reading. I'm looking for efficiency and maximization. So if I see a little piece of wisdom that I sit with it and I'm like, oh, that's useful. Oh, that's useful, but no, it's got to be combined with a new set of information that's going to make it more fun. Okay, this is how my mind is working. I'm constantly looking through the lens of abundance, opportunity, fun perspective. These are eyes of evolution. I'm looking for evolution. That's way more fun than just showing up and doing the laundry. Okay? Way more fun, right? So that's the thing. You gotta find the magic in the mundane. You gotta find the eccentric and the erotic and the poetic in the everyday things, the daily tasks. When you can make something fun for you, you have figured out 50% of life. Because you are utilizing this vehicle and you're understanding what powers the vehicle now. It's not just food, it's spiritual fuel. It's inspiration, in spirit. Right? It's the energy of the cosmos. We are the new trendsetters of this generation. Remember that. We're the ones that are going to change it around. We're the ones that are going to move it forward. So all my Bengali relatives or people who see me, they're like, "Hey, chulta ki korechish?" Right? Which means like, what have you done with your hair? Right? I go, I like it. It's like, I don't even need to justify it anymore, It's just my life. I remember like a story a while back, like I remember I got a tattoo, right, a while back. And I think my mother told one of her friends. They said, "Oh, he got a tattoo, but only degenerates get tattoos. Nobody gets a tattoo here in Canada." I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. That person is completely indoctrinated and conditioned. They don't know what they're talking about. This is my artistic expression and choice in my body. When I first heard that, did I absorb that information? No, because if I absorbed that information, it would change my life. Maybe I would stop expressing myself. Maybe I'd stop getting tattoos. Maybe I'd stop everything. I'd just be halt. Oh, no. Let me stop right there. Bro, I'm gonna progress forward because you know what? This is my life and these are my choices. And there are consequences to choices, I understand that. But that only happens through time. Progression through time. Patience. Understanding. Evolution. Maturation. Growth. It's gotta be from autonomy. It can't be through peer pressure, right? I made a lot of stupid decisions just through peer pressure. That's dumb. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's only pretentious people who undermine your curiosity. So get curious, have fun, stay in this autonomy and independence. That internal verification, blue check mark internally. That's what we're looking for. That's what we got. Upward Spiral Gang, you already know what it is. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Hit that subscribe button.